All right, guys, welcome back. We've got the upper bracket here. We've got J.Storm that just took, I believe, Team down to the lower bracket. It was a straight 2-0.
Yep.
And then we have compLexity Gaming that went 2-1 against Team Test 123. I'm your cast Moxie. I'm here with the wonderful Jenkins Dota, and we're wide awake here. We're actually in Germany right now. It's pretty late, but we're super hyped for some NA Dota.
You know, we're in Germany, but our hearts are in North America.
Absolutely, absolutely.
With these guys. Who do you want to win this game?
Who do I want to win? Wow,
Yeah.
that is biased caster.
I'm just asking, you know?
I don't
Just
know,
a
man.
question.
I really like compLexity. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm also a big Bryle fan over on the side of J.Storm too. I think these guys, you know, they've been looking pretty great lately.
Yeah.
But I think I'm gonna have to go with compLexity. I would like to see compLexity. What about you?
I would like to see compLexity win, just because they just almost won the minor qualifier. They lost the minor qualifier. J.Storm is in the major, and if they go from losing the minor qualifier to beating a major qualifier, that is a significant improvement.
Right,
And
their stock goes on the rise. Right?
yeah, I like that. I really think, like, I don't know if we were streaming when I said it, but like I really think compLexity within a month should be a tier 1 team with the players that they have. This is like the best compLexity roster that has existed for a very long time.
Wow. All right,
think.
that's some high praise right there.
They're very good, as long as they can like work together as a team, which you know, a month should be enough time for players of this caliber to figure that out. But you know, it's really hard to say. It's just figurative until it happens. You know, it is very hard to like make that call.
That's true. That's true. It'll be interesting to watch this team evolve a little bit more, for sure.
Yeah.
Same thing with like Test 123. You know, we had that game earlier, and they just did add Kit Track into the roster. So I'm sure you're seeing a lot of these teams that have these little adjustments, changes, or whatnot. They'll start to look a little bit more solid after they've had some more time together. Yeah,
even adding one player can completely change the dynamic of a team. You like lose a guy that maybe is hyping people up. You lose a guy that's calming people down, or somebody that's making a lot of shot calls in the early game or the late game or drafting calls.
Well, yeah, in the case of Test 123, Kit Track is now the captain, I believe. Yeah, so that's a huge change for them. But, you know, we did, I think when I first was casting compLexity, they had just actually had their two, I believe Death and Miracle had just arrived that day, or like the day before.
Yeah.
From SEA down to their house, I think in Texas or whatever. And they settled in really quickly. It was pretty impressive. So, I mean, if you see how fast they can adjust just from that alone, it'll be interesting what time will do. But we see one of my favorite people right now, Lich, get picked up again. We got some Frosty boys over there, right? We got a Tusk, we got a List.
Yeah, it's lots of Frost. Even the Panda, split them up. He's a third Frost.
All the Frost.
It's like everybody's got a little bit of Irish in them. Panda's got a little bit of Frost. Everybody in Dota.
Yeah, I totally have some Irish in me over here.
Yeah, you might. You know,
you never know.
At some point.
Never know. Yeah, when those Irish people came over to Korea, you know, man.
Yeah. Hey, man, I don't know the history.
But I do like, so we get the first pick Dazzle, and we get the Terrorblade pickup. And Terrorblade, we've seen the value of that, right? We've seen Ritsu actually play it in one of the previous games. This is one of those heroes that if you can make enough space for it, it does come online pretty furiously. So
yeah, and Moo is also a player he's been playing Terrorblade for a long time. He knows how the hero works. For King's Cup, when we interviewed him, he was playing Terrorblade, and he comes on, and he just very like apathetically says, you know, you just farm and hope your team doesn't lose, and then you win the game.
I mean, that's
something along those.
That's Terrorblade in a nutshell right now, though, right?
It's like you
do really well, and you don't have to worry. You can just, you know, run away with the game. But
yeah. Usually he loses and then wins, though. I don't know what it is about this hero. It just usually gets destroyed in the lane, and then just goes jungles, and then oh wow, we have a Terrorblade.
Or he doesn't even get that destroyed in the lane, but he'll just opt to go out into the jungle, and then we'll switch off with like a support, so that way they can get the experience, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, just because there aren't any heroes that jungle faster than Terrorblade in Dota that are as strong as Terrorblade. We actually saw, I think it was in KL. Arteezy playing Terrorblade against Morphling. Maybe it was TI that I'm thinking about. But in any case, Morphling typically considered to be like a counter to Terrorblade traditionally, just because you morph into the Terrorblade and you're just
that says a lot about a hero when you have to pick a hero that can turn into the hero.
Yeah, it does. But the thing is, Morphling still doesn't farm as fast as a Terrorblade does in the jungle. So it's like sure, you're morphing into the Terrorblade and you will just become the Terrorblade, but Terrorblade's going to have more items than you have.
So you're a discount knockoff version that you can buy.
Right,
at the
right.
store.
Like EG was actually picking Terrorblade into Morphling because they're like, it doesn't matter. We're still going to outfarm you.
Yeah.
And then also, of course, you're not going to get the Sunder if you morph into him. But really, I don't think that's what matters. I think all of Terrorblade's other abilities are the stronger points of the hero, and what really matters is that he just farms so quickly. There are no heroes that can really do what he does at the speed of which he does it. It's kind of insane, which is why it's still getting picked up despite the Sunder nerfs.
I mean, he's always going to be able to get his Sunder off as well with a Dazzle player on board as well.
True, yeah.
Like, there's no way, like...
That's a really strong combo.
Very strong. It's also going to give him the sustain and lane. It's going to be able to harass very, very efficiently. So I like that laning combo there. Of course, the Brewmaster getting picked up. And you do have a lot of potential with this Lich as well. Especially, you've got a Tusk, you've got a Lich. If they start to roam on that Lena, she's in for a lot of trouble. She's got to land that Light Strike Array and pray to God.
Yeah, I think you can basically run any of these two supports on the complexity side with the Brew, and they're going to do exceptionally well. The only issue is you're laning into a TB Dazzle. That's also a very strong lane, but I really don't think it's strong enough to survive a Brew Lich, which is why it looks like the Dazzle is actually going to be going aggro as a core, and then Witch Doctor plus TB just to be kind of defensive of the Lich plus Brew or the Tusk plus Brew.
That's true. And you do have the Voodoo Restoration on top of everything else too. So that way, if you need to get a point in that early, just to try to keep him alive in lane, you've got that possibility. But
yeah, and then the Cask just to be like, all right, get out of here.
Yeah, split up, dudes. Get out of here.
Yep.
Delta split. So what's the last pickup, do you think, here for complexity?
So they know it's a Dazzle. They could possibly do a morph mid against Lena. I'm not entirely sure how that does. They could technically pick a safe laner here to go against this Dazzle, but they could also just pick a mid laner. They don't really have much to deal with the brood pick, potential brood pick, but
You keep bringing that up, man. Ugh.
maybe the Dazzle can do okay against it just because you heal bomb the wave.
Yeah.
Brood Huskar is relatively good here. Actually, it's not that good because Lena can actually lane the Huskar very well. I always just look at, like, when it comes to these last picks, I should look at like cancer picks. I think
You don't say.
I think Tinker will probably be good, but it's banned, and they pick the Puck.
You get a Puck.
Okay, so
This is a hero we're seeing more and more of lately because of the way that the Dream Coil has been reworked, right?
yeah, it's much better than it once was. You can't Earth Spirit roll out of it.
You can't TP out now.
You can't TP out.
What is the actual phrase on it now?
It's a leash
A leash,
mechanic.
that's right.
Yeah, leash mechanic. Slark also has this leash mechanic. Puck, I think, has been like a relatively underrated hero for a while. Just it's one of those like Reddit bandwagon hate heroes, kind of like Ricky, except in the other direction. And so if you look at Puck's history in terms of like buffs and nerfs, she or he has been buffed for quite some time.
I believe Puck is an it, sir.
Yeah, it's sheer here.
It's a it.
Jouet.
What?
Jouet.
What's a jouet?
It's the pronoun for it.
Is it really? I feel like you're making this
I'm
up.
just making it up.
Yeah, okay. You could have totally sold that on me.
I could have.
A jouet. All right.
I won't deceive you like that.
There we go. Yeah, you better not. This casting as a
There's
caster
a
duo
trust.
is
There's trust that has to be there.
Yeah, if you're trolling me like that, how am I going to trust you?
I just need to think twice about my actions. That's all, you know. I'm sorry.
All right. So looking at the draft, what do we like? Did they totally ignore Grimstroke too during this entire draft? I just realized. Because Lich Grimstroke is dirty.
That's a damn good question. I would imagine it was probably banned, but the bans are not.
They're not showing anymore.
They're not showing anymore.
No.
We can't get the Dota buff either because the game's not over. So
yeah,
that's a rip.
The technology isn't there yet.
Yeah, maybe one day. But I would be very surprised if that were true.
We gotta message Sabina there and be like, hey, we need a live update. Thank you.
Come on. Actually, I think they do have that.
Do they?
I think so. Let me check.
Go look.
It's free Dota buff advertising.
We should be talking about Dota Plus, sir.
We should.
Dota Plus, thank you. All right, but anyways.
No,
yeah.
there was no Grimstroke.
There was no Grimstroke. Wow. All right, I'm surprised that made that through. And they were
shout out to Track Dota.
Track Dota. What a website.
So complexity, they go for a smoke up. Looks like they want to. Come on, JS.
What is? Huh? What? Thank you? Question mark?
What?
Who is that?
Who is that?
Why is their name not showing up properly? Welcome to our village. All right.
Are they supposed to be in here?
I don't know. I'm actually not sure. I'm sure the admin would say something though. Moo is dead.
I'm still distracted by this this ghost.
Yeah, I'm not sure who that is. Thank you, admin. All right, I'm guessing somebody handled it, maybe?
Easy distract.
Dota 2.
Oh,
yeah.
God. Well, it can't be Ritsu jumping in the lobby because, you know, he's playing. So.
We didn't. I'm really impressed. Usually, isn't it Ritsu who usually has to have that bathroom break right at the beginning of the game all the time?
Always him.
Triggering Peter.
Lich going for career snipe. Mid lane. Interesting.
This is something that 343 does, I think, fairly commonly. If I recall, like, from, like, Dream League. I think they used to do that with Royal Never Give Up.
Lina not sending the courier out, though, because of why?
Because Bryle senses it in the air, clearly.
His
spidey sense.
He's waiting for his null talisman recipe, and then he'll send it out. That's cool.
So I feel like Limp should win this matchup, right? Because he's able to, as long as he plays carefully and can dodge like Strike Array, and he's got really good base damage.
Yeah, I do think this should be a puck favored matchup, especially if there's any sort of rotation.
Uh-oh. Hold on. Gonna be alright. He's got himself a solve.
Lots of teams doing this tri-laning, actually.
Ooh, roll forward. They've got their eyes over here onto 343. He's taking a lot of damage, and they'll be able to get that kill right over there. And that looks like Z-Freak might be in for some trouble. Nope, but he finds a kill over onto the Dazzle. Milan now is the only man left here from the Radiant in this top lane. He's going to go right back to the Scrape Wave.
They trade a core for a support. I'm not sure if you want to trade the core Dazzle, especially because this hero really likes to snowball. Z-Freak, careful, buddy.
I don't think he has anything to worry about, though, really, unless Farev starts to pay... Well, Farev is starting to pay attention here, so do have to be a little bit more careful. It does have that point in the Shadow Wave, though, so they're not going to be able to get that kill at this time.
Surprised that he went for the Shadow Wave. I guess maybe that's what he used to kill the Terrorblade at level 1. Oh, wait, no, the Terrorblade was his team. Right?
Yeah.
Why
that would just an absolute...
It's interesting that he has, the Shadow Wave.
I think they may have gone in for a kill on the top lane. They need that extra little bit. But they'll be able to take down Milan slowly but surely. A couple hits coming out from Z-Freak, and of course that Frost Blast coming out from 343. It's kind of interesting that they've opted to change it around a little bit because you've been seeing a couple different builds on this Lich. But it looks like Farev also going to get taken down. So this lane is not going well for the side of J.Storm at all. Bottom lane, though, they are going to try to contest over here onto this pole. And Death just trying to, you know, be a general nuisance down here for the most part. Try to get some of these last hits, maybe some denies. He's doing pretty okay as well.
Yeah, if he can get anything down here, he's doing his job. Just because this is a solo offlane scenario, he's against a dual lane with potential rotations. So him getting this amount down here is incredibly good for compLexity. However, with that being said, Limp is getting completely styled on by Bryle on the Lina.
This is a Bryle hero too.
Yeah, he's one of those players that if you give him like a skill based, has to hit like the first 3 last hits in order to win the lane sort of hero, he'll actually do it.
Nice dodge though. Light Strike Array actually gonna catch him at the last second. Ooh.
Oh my god, that was so
close.
close.
8 hit points.
It's really cool to see that Bryle doesn't go for the extra hit because he knows the phase shift is coming back off cooldown. So he doesn't dive. He calculated that perfectly. These mid laners, man.
It's always fun to watch them, especially like when you think about how much is reliant on reflexes and really knowing your hero quite well. Yeah,
it's super for the longest time the mid lane has just been super heavily dependent on
top lane. Farev in so much trouble. Z-Freak actually going to be able to help take him down with the help from that Frost Shield. And they're still going. They've got their eyes over here onto March. March trying to run himself away. They've already used the cast. They're going to go for a full-on dive here. The TPs are coming out. Looks like they're going to be forced back here. Z-Freak might be in for a little... Oh, the body block comes out, though! 343 tries to keep him alive. Will turn back around that Shadow Wave, though, coming in handy. We'll be able to get the kill onto Z-Freak. And they might actually be able to find 3-4-3. Yeah, there's going to be the cast getting thrown out. He's trying to juke himself away, but not going to be fast enough. Rebel get that kill. Poison Touch comes out. In the mid lane, Bryle manages to get the kill over onto Limp. Wasn't Bryle number 2 in NA for a while, too?
Rank number 2?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
This is such a high skill matchup.
Yeah, these two are like
number 1. He's number 2 sometimes.
Yeah, these two are like two of the best mid laners
awesome.
in North America. They're very, very good.
That's so hype.
I think there's like very few people that could match their skill in a 1v1, like Sumail. Can't think of anybody else. there's very few people. Maybe match. Sumail's probably better than they are, but Sumail is Sumail. He's like the best 1v1 in the world.
For sure.
But these guys are still like super high up there.
Well, it's interesting to see them play this out because, like we said, we thought that the puck would have the advantage here, but Bryle, again, this is a hero that he's very, very comfortable with. I've seen him play it quite a bit, even before like he got picked up over on J.Storm and March Out Army and all that. Runes are up though, and they managed to secure a bunch over on the side of J.Storm. Wow, that's 3. That's
huge. That's
game winning, right? If you're if you're Admiral Bulldog right now, clearly they've just won the game.
You get like, that's like, what, plus 750 at this point, gold for your team. And
because all 4 gives you 1,000.
Yeah, at 5 minutes into the game, come on, that's insane.
And I love how aggressive Bryle's playing this lane too. Like he just keeps going forward. He sees that Limp is trying to go for like last hit or something, and he like gets ready with that Light Striker. But they get the silence off. They're gonna roll forward here. Z-Freak, he's got the tag team. He's gonna try to go for the Light Striker away. Won't be able to land over onto the puck. They twist around. He's gonna be able to get the kill over onto puck. Very nicely done. There's gonna be their TP rotation coming out. Milan still on the hunt. Wants to get this kill onto Z-Freak. Z-Freak just so slow here. Needs a little bit more damage, and they have it.
Oh, what a stun! That Lina stun perfectly timed, and then with the rotation from the Witch Doctor.
Beautiful.
Yeah, they were able to just calculate and turn that. I mean, that's also just nice item pickups by Bryle too, able to survive that. Having the bottle, 2 null talismans makes him really tanky at this point, and then also the infused raindrop, so he took no damage from the puck orb. And the puck not being level 6 because Bryle had that early advantage. It's just, that's Dota. Like an early advantage in the lane will turn into something like that. Just from these very little minuscule things. As long as your team is willing to rotate, of course. Which, in a game like this, they will.
Well, we actually see that Moose made his way to the top lane now. They're trying to fight through here. There's going to be the roll forward, though. They've got their eyes over here onto the Lich, knowing that he's going to be able to try to keep them alive, to take them down. They get the split off, though, from the Brewmaster. They'll turn their attention now over onto Moo. Moo's trying to run himself out. He's sitting at level 6. He's still holding on to that point, though. Nice heal wave coming out here from the Dazzle. We'll be able to go throw that Witch Doctor up in the air so that they can retreat. But they've already gone and they've used that split. I don't think they can get much more out of this. The meta's up and running now over on Moo. This is... I don't know. I don't think they can defend this now.
That's a pretty cool rotation from Moo. Just like understanding that he's strong enough if he groups up here to take this tower. We saw it in the previous games. Like taking this tier 1 tower is really, really important. And usually it's not the carry that makes the rotation to take it, but hey, if you know that you're strong enough to do it.
So roll forward, they're going to be able to go and connect that boulder. There's the signs being thrown out too that's going to tick down. It doesn't even matter. They don't have to take it down. Moo just goes and cleans up. But now Z-Freak has to go hide himself over here into these trees. Mid lane looks like they were trying to do something. They managed to get the kill over onto Bryle. Top lane, though, they're still just going after this tower. They're still going after Z-Freak. Z-Freak trying to run himself back. The body block's coming out from Milan here. Looking pretty good, but it doesn't look like anyone else wants to help him with this kill, so... Z-Freak gonna be able to stay alive, but they've lost a tower at 7 minutes. They've lost, and they managed to get the kill over onto Bryle with a good rotation over here in the mid lane.
And this new Earth Spirit actually seems a lot better than the old Earth Spirit.
Uh-oh. 3-4-3?
Such a dead Lich.
That's so dead. Yeah, what you doing over there, buddy?
Oh, he died to the neutrals?
That's very, very lucky, because I don't think he was trying to do that.
I don't think he was either. It just got pulled from the Lina.
Uh-oh, Moo. This is going to get kicked forward here by Milan, trying to say him. He says, get out of there, buddy. You shouldn't be here anymore. And comes Limp, though. Limp, he's got that double damage. He's looking for this opening over here onto Moo. He's going to use that illusory orb. Goes forward, has a waning rift. Needs to get a little bit more damage. Doesn't quite have that Dream Coil up, but it doesn't matter. With a double damage, he'll get that kill. And there's Treads completed now for Limp.
Why was he taking so much damage on Terrorblade? 21 armor? It's Puck. I mean, I guess Puck double damage is just...
Double damage. I mean, he does so much.
100 plus 100.
Oh, boy. Braille cleans up 3-4-3, but there's going to be a big old snowball coming through here. Nice bounces coming out here from Marchman to get the Maledict off. There's a Dream Coil coming through as well. Life Strike Array comes through. He's going to be able to dodge it. He's still got his eyes over here only for Braille. They'll get the kill. They'll get the kill over onto Limp, though, as well. And now it looks like the Witch Doctor might be in for some trouble. Nice kick coming out here from Miracles. He morphs himself forward. We'll be able to take him down with a good shot here. And the roll coming out from Milan. The snowball still coming after him, though. He's not going to be able to quite close that gap. It was a good...
5v5 on the mid lane.
Couple morphs there here coming out from Miracle, though.
Yeah, that was a clutch rotation. If he doesn't rotate there, that's just a hugely J.Storm favored. Like, I think Lena was playing that such that she was actually going to kill the Puck, despite the Puck having a DD, but Miracle shows up and cleans up.
Yeah. Which
means he's not farming, but, I mean, neither was the Terrorblade because he was dead, so...
That's true. And we're just neck and neck on this. It's less than a 1K average right now. We're reaching the 10-minute mark.
Yeah, there's not many towers taken either. Forever's getting a little bit of space in the bot lane. I guess that's one thing that...
Oh, he needed that so badly.
He
this
did.
poor Dazzle is not working out for him yet.
He's been having a rough time. He's a very snowball-y hero. Very good core if you can snowball him.
I feel like he's not as good core. Like, as a support, he's fantastic, but they did, like, nerf the bad juju a little bit more, right, for the, what is it now? It's 20% instead of 30% at level 1. Like, 30% level 1 just was too strong.
Yeah, it was...
Oh, look at the rotations coming out. Ooh, Forever, just TP out, bro. TP out. You're not going to be able to TP out because you don't have a TP. Oh, God, this is a very, very dead Dazzle. Yeah, they've even got the Frost Shield down over here onto Death as he's searching around with these pandas. They get the Waning Rift off, and this core Dazzle is just not doing a whole heck of a lot. Must be an easy tower here.
It's hard for him. I think it's a mistake. Excuse me. It's a mistake for him to not have a TP in this bottom lane, and it's not just because like he died. It's more so because like this is a very typical thing that you do when you're playing an offlaner or a 5-roll support. Is you sit in those trees and you just pull the creep wave off, and you just try to essentially distract the enemy team for as long as you can, set up a really good fight, and defend your tier 1 tower. And the fact that he dies or doesn't have the TP to get out to juke in like the trees to the right here, and then get out means that they just lose that tower for free. So that's like more of the loss than the death. It's the fact that he couldn't safely just sit in those trees and distract, which is a really important job that we've seen people do more and more in competitive for the past like couple of.
But do you want to see your core Dazzle doing that? Does he want to be the person?
No, not usually, but
like if it was support, I could definitely understand. You know, trying to just distract, making space.
Usually, it's like you send like a really tanky core there that's gonna take a huge investment to kill, or like a Winter Wyvern. But with how behind he is in this game, I would say he's not that far behind, but he needed to catch up a little bit. So I think it does make sense in this game just because he needed the catch up. I get the decision making. They're looking for the Terrorblade.
Oh, I like that ward over there. It's going to be able to give them high ground vision so they can come up safely without having to risk too much. It's positioning so good, right? Look at these wards.
Running right into them. Oh,
he spots it out though. They see it. Now, the big question is, do they make a rotation to defend this top tower, or do they just back off?
It's awkward. They could get the mid tower. Death is there, but it's very, very low.
They've had a haste run over on Braille.
They're going to rotate.
All right.
Death goes for the early Vlads. He has a bracer, too.
I mean, the tower's not low enough to be denied anyway, so I feel like they're okay with this, right? On the side of complexity, it's nothing that they had to really, what do you call it? They didn't have to commit anything too hard for making that rotation. That's more time that they're all grouped up together. They're not splitting up XP. They're not farming the map.
Yep. Ooh, I hear
a Witch Doctor ultimate.
Oh,
they find themselves a kill over on 2-3-4-3.
How many times is he going to die here?
I don't know. He really wants to ward the spot. And
it's a good spot, actually.
But they've got a sentry down, too, so it's not like he can get to... Like, they know. Like, look at these sentries all over the map.
I've seen this spot, this, like, particular hill where he died, gets warded so much in every single game.
Yeah. It's the new hot spot.
We need to name this spot, like, every game.
What can we call it? Oh, the roll forward, though, coming down to get the silence off over onto Miracle. They actually use the Magnetize as well. The roll forward, he's going to actually morph into the Earth Spirit and says, yeah, I could probably play this hero pretty well, too, there, my friend. Just going to chip away over at Milan. There's nothing that he can do about it right now. Slowly but surely, looks like they should be able to get that kill. No, he's going to be able to roll himself out, but they find themselves Forever over here. Forever, he's got to run himself out. He doesn't have the shallow grave. He is totally toast. And they're still chasing after Milan. They will find him.
Chased him into the trees using his own Earth Spirit.
That's gotta be, it feels bad, man. Like, hey, look, I can play your hero better than you can. Lol.
That's always how Morphling always kind of feels like that though, because he has your abilities like plus some. Oh, Brow in the mid lane. Morph
Oh
keeping
boy.
in.
Yeah, they find the kill over onto Bryle.
This is actually one way that you can pick the Morphling against the Terrorblade, and where the Morphling is actually just strictly better than the Terrorblade. Morph, if he can get some items in the early game, he is an exceptional fighter. He just needs the lead. Terrorblade, relatively similar, but even if he has items in the early game, a lot of the time you just opt to farm. So Morphling, like right now, this is the exact moment that they need to capitalize on the fact that he's the highest net worth hero. Finally, 343 gets his area deordered.
He's like, yes, my dream.
Oh, man.
I can die a happy lich now, even though I'm already dead, because that's what a lich is.
That's true. That's true.
They're losing their real estate very quickly here on the side of J.Storm.
Limp is level 12 now to Bryle's level 10.
Yeah.
So we've seen Bryle kind of fall off a little bit. Not even kind of. He's fallen off.
Ooh, what is that roll for? All right, 343.
Oh my God! Third time.
Run 343, run!
Oh, he's actually gonna be fine.
No, that's a lot of damage coming out here. I don't think he makes it out. I think those ticks coming out. Yep, nope, doesn't matter. Bryle has that dragon slave.
That counts as a death in that area, by the way, because it was initiated.
So how many deaths have we had?
So
now?
we're at 3. We're at 3 on that spot. 3 for 3.
3 for 3. Oh, what are the odds? What are the odds that that comes out that way?
Oh God! Did you do that on purpose? Oh, you got me. You did it.
You got him.
2 bounties for 2. Easy.
All right, so what's the play here? Because the longer that this game goes, the scarier the Terrorblade gets, right? And if the Terrorblade starts getting items, it's going to be very difficult because Miracle can switch himself into the Terrorblade, but if he doesn't have the same items or, like, isn't ahead, it's not going to be as effective.
Yeah, you definitely want to keep pushing your lead.
Okay, so should they grab a smoke now and try to get the top tower? They have really nice wards, right? They've got a ward behind the tower. They can keep tabs on everything going on there.
Definitely taking the top tower and just securing the Roche area, maybe going for, like, 1 pick off, and then taking Roche, I think, would be a relatively reasonable play. They do have a bit of lane issues right now, though, with
March?
Actually,
not going to go for it.
J.Storm's got the lane issues. So this would be perfect time to take a smoke. We can see that 343 does indeed have a smoke in his inventory, along with the typical
wards.
Yeah, typical
the
support
position
items.
5 starter pack, as we like to call it, the brown boots, the
magic wand plus wards.
So the magic wand is a little bit of a luck item.
It is.
It's normally
yeah.
just the stick.
Yep.
The stick.
Yep.
So he's living pretty large right now here.
We're gonna charge for sure. So he opted for like a 2-2-2 build on Lich, which I like. I like the fact that he didn't max out the Frost Blast. Just 2 points in it for the extra damage in the laning phase. It's definitely good if you can't have if you can't like have somebody run in with the Frost Shield. But going later into the game, of course, the Frost Shield is going to be way more effective for just defensive purposes. And then Sinister Gaze is, you know, a stun. So it's very, very good to max that out too.
All right, we got a big old smoke coming through here.
Yeah, they're going to go for this top tower.
Makes sense. They do have the good vision that was behind the tower, so they can see that there's the Air Spirit there. Moo hasn't been showing on the map, and they do have some vision down there. Oh, but sitting on the low ground, that's so risky. There's a jump forward, though. They find themselves that Air Spirit. The sign comes out. Snowball's going to be coming through as well. Can they finish him off fast enough? They need a little bit more damage. There it is. Light Strike Ray comes through here, and there's getting a couple of these really nice Chain Frost bounces, but they'll go right back in for Rev. Rev in so much trouble. He's actually going to get taken down. Light Strike Ray again coming out. They're going to try to take down March, but they turn their attention now over onto this Terrorblade. There's the Waning Rift. He just stands in place. He knows that's it. He is not going to make it out. Very nice. They're still going. They've got their eyes over here on March. They're going to try to slow him down. There's going to be the roll forward coming out from Miracle, but that double kill looking pretty good. They do lose March there. He is morphed into that Earth Spirit. I don't know how many times.
It's
he's
been so good
with it.
It's been way too good.
Yeah.
It's like you look and you like at glance value, it's like, oh, Earth Spirit's going in. He's making all these sick plays. Like, nah, dude, that's just Miracle.
That's Miracle.
And then they take the Roche. They actually don't even go for the tower just because they know if they take the Roche, which they can do very quickly, especially with the Terrorblade being dead, it's just a free, basically whatever 2 towers they run at. They'll get a tier 2 relatively easily. They probably want to wait for the Burst Split again just because of how effective that was in the last fight. We actually saw a little glimpse there of how much damage the Dazzle plus TB does.
343.
Nice.
The sacrificial lamb, the ward, the living ward there. He's
That's fair. Protect your team while they're roshing.
It wasn't really necessary at that point because they already gotten the rosh. But
at least it's scouting. Like you're scouting. It's
right.
like, okay, guys, they're not coming at us in rosh because they're killing me.
Yep. Just like I made space. Space created, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, shout out to Adam. That dude is like one of the nicest dudes.
Yeah, I really enjoy pubbing with him. Actually, he's really nice to run into. A lot of people in North America, you get in pubs. There's a little bit of toxicity for some of these players, but not Adam. Not a single. I've never heard him say anything.
Another wholesome
ever.
lad.
He is definitely a wholesome lad. He can fill in the blanks for.
Yeah, we don't need any prompting for who the other not so wholesome lads are.
Z-Freak is wholesome.
Z-Freak is very wholesome.
He's like the most wholesome.
He's like, actually, I use this, I use this for Trent usually. I think Trent is like the most wholesome person in Dota 2, honestly.
Yeah.
I call him a big old bowl of oatmeal because he's so wholesome.
He's ubiquitously likable.
Yeah.
Everybody likes Trent.
Everybody likes Trent. There's nothing that you can say against that dude.
I love when he's on panels.
Unless you don't like his hockey team. I think that's the only time I've seen him get a little sassy like
my
that,
God.
right?
Oh, he goes in when it comes to hockey. Like, dude, there's like 500 games a season. Come on, Trent, get over it. I don't care that the Toronto Maple Leafs lost to the Habs. Sorry.
It's alright. You have a little sidebar there. It's fine.
Canadian. The Spirit, Milan.
Yeah, that's a dead Milan over there. Man, they managed to take the top tower, and they didn't even manage to take this bottom one. Like, that's a little worrisome.
Yeah, J.Storm was trying to, at the very least, make a trade in the moments that the Aegis is online. But not able to, because they just don't have great tower push aside from the Terrorblade. He's just jungling, so...
I mean, Lena eventually will be pretty good at hitting towers, but she's just not at that point. Just
yeah, and Necrobook Dazzle, too. As of right now, like, they're just a little bit too weak to get these trades, so...
This Dazzle feels really far behind. I don't know.
Yeah, it does. Slowly but surely, compLexity is going to just get more and more of a map control lead. And they have a 3k gold lead, but that gold lead is like a reflection of how much of the map they have controlled for the past few minutes. And they are controlling more and more of the map, and therefore the gold lead is going to go up as it's now 4k. That's just, you know, the nature of Dota, and they're going for this top tower, it looks like.
I'd like to see them continue to, yeah, like you just said, they're going for the top tower. I'd like to see them continue to keep this pressure down. They feel very, very strong right now. Though the jump forward over here onto the Brewmaster, and immediately, look at Miracle. He's already said, oh man, I can totally play as an Earth Spirit right now. Laguna's going to get used over here onto Death. He's trying to get the split off. He's not going to be able to. There's going to be the roll forward, though, coming up from Miracle, taking a lot of damage from this Death Ward, but on the back lines, Limp is going to be able to go and put a little pressure over here on the Dazzle. Again, they still have that Aegis online, but they've already lost the Brew, so I don't know if they want to continue this at this time. What do you think?
Yeah, they need to need to chill right now. The Brew is really critical for these fights. Like we saw in that one fight, Terrorblade Dazzle, they do a lot of damage, especially to Terrorblade being the highest net worth despite the map control, the Aegis. So we just, yeah, you definitely need the Brew to fight. We can even see that like the gold lead is just with the Brew death, they're getting a gold lead because J.Storm knows that. I don't know if you can solo kill the puck. You definitely cannot.
He was thinking about it, though. He was thinking about it. I think this is the... when did Bryle pick up the Shadow Blade? Is that a recent pickup?
I think so, yeah. I think he just got it.
Okay. So that would be a big reveal for them if he used it right there.
Yeah. I see it now in the top lane. Look at this Limp build. He's got a Force Staff. He's getting a Hurricane Pike.
He's going right-click puck. It's happening.
He's going to Hurricane Pike people out of the coil and break them like right at the last second or something like that. That's pretty cool.
Well, that used to be the thing with Dark Willow, right? You would do the, you'd pick up the puck and then you'd have the Dark Willow terrorize and have them snap it.
Yeah.
But Dark Willow's kind of dumpster tier right now, unfortunately.
Yeah. So you're basically just snapping your own coil there.
Yeah.
But you can also do it, like you choose when you do it. And it's just a point-click target, so you...
That's when you're styling on kids, right?
Yeah, it's actually pretty sweet. Puck Dream Quest stun duration was increased in 7.20D. It's got 0.15 more stun duration. Is that important? I don't know. Probably not.
You heard it here, folks. My analyst has deemed it not important.
Really, the leash. The leash is the important.
Right.
I think. The leash makes this hero good.
Everybody's just back in the farming game here. I'm not sure. Oh, it just get reclaimed though.
This definitely favors J.Storm if you're just farming.
Yeah, because again, it's a Terrorblade. Eventually, he just shows up to the fights and he's like, "Hey, I'm done farming."
Yep. I think if compLexity had one other core that was, I don't know. I mean, I guess Brew with the new Drunken Brawler is pretty strong in the late game, but I think Dazzle is like obscenely strong in the late game. I think Lina, if she can get farm, if she's not like just getting blown up in every fight, she will eventually be strong in the late game. Terrorblade, of course, arguably the strongest hero in the late game in Dota right now, and then it's just versus Morphling, and you have Puck Brew, which are both essentially offlaners, utility heroes, I should say.
That's just poking a little bit over here at the Terrorblade.
Yep.
Brow gets himself a double damage, though.
Scotty on Moon. He is one farmed boy.
I mean, you make the space.
Yep.
Terrorblade comes online. Are they smoking over here? They're grouping like they want to smoke. They don't have a smoke. They, oh, there's the gem queued up, though. They want to make sure that they can keep an eye on Brian.
It's a good pickup. I think.
Map.
Is there any glimmers? No glimmers, but there's going to be a glimmer purchased on Milan soon. But also, just being able to deward a lot of the wards is going to be very effective. J.Storm is doing a really good job at farming on their three cores. We can even see like Dazzle's just popping the Necrobuck and farming with it because they know that they're going to win late game and they know that they can go late game. So they're literally just playing like the hard farm game. And the way to stop that is to just run around, deward with the gem.
So is this a big misplay coming out from the set of compLexity then? The fact that they aren't still seeking those opportunities? Or are they playing this correctly with the fact that, you know, they did get anything done with the Aegis, they just go back to kind of sitting back and
it's a tough call to make just because there's like a limited amount of smokes, and you know that against a Terrorblade / Dazzle / Lina lineup is like if you get out of position for just a second in a fight, you could lose it all and then lose your entire base. So I get why they're playing relatively scared, and you can see that Brewer's actually building into a Radiant, so he's just saying, okay, you guys want to go late, we'll go late, and you know we'll do it better. This is like one way that Brewer could scale into the late game, and I'll just be this utility offlaner. He will be effective as more of a carry with this item. So I think that it just depends on what approach they want to take to this game, and it seems like they're going to go into the late game and have like the Puck be the utility hero and hope that their Morph and their Brew can do enough damage in these fights to carry. Forev, once he gets, let's see, what's the cooldown on this Necrobuck? I think Necro's like almost 100%
35% cooldown now.
Yeah. Okay. So he's got it's there's a 1.5 second cooldown on Necrobuck.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
so he's got
silly.
an army.
That's so silly. He's gonna farm so quickly. Actually, look at Forev's farm. He's almost out farming the Puck.
It's the magic of bad juju.
Yeah, that Necro.
Bad juju and a Necrobuck.
Even just like a Necro 1 on whatever hero, you just use it to push waves, use it to cut waves, use it to push towers safely without putting yourself in harm's way. Jungle creeps, especially on one of these heroes that benefits.
4-3-4-3. He's getting bullied by the Necro 3 units. Look at him.
Purge him. Oh, he purged him already.
Oh, the roll in, though.
Oh my god, is he actually just going to die to
Milan,
Necros?
oh, Milan, he wants to get this kill. They've got it. They totally got it. He's going to get the kill. Milan will get taken down by it, and they use the Chain Frost as well. They're going to still chase after Forev, though. Forev maybe a little bit too greedy here there. He's going to get taken out, and they will be able to get the Necrobooks, too. So bonus gold. Feels good, but very bad. If
they actually got so baited by the meme play that was happening. That is hilarious. It's like, oh my god, we're going to kill him with just the Necros. Okay, I'm going to roll on him and TP out. And then Forev is just like watching from afar.
Just like, uh-oh. Don't drag me into this.
The Earth Spirit on the enemy team.
Man, Miracle is just like styling with those Earth Spirit, I swear.
Yeah, he's been doing a really good job. He's
not fun to watch.
You would think like in this draft, of course he's gonna steal the Terrorblade.
No.
Nope.
Man. That silence is so good. Being able to push people out of their positioning, even better. Stun. Yeah,
it's just a whole lot of lockdown for a hero that can definitely use it. He's going for Ethereal Blade next, which will allow him to blow up the Terrorblade, which is pretty nice. Although the issue with using this on Terrorblade is a lot of the time he just presses R on you, and
you gotta lock him down.
Yeah, you have to Puck silence him. He does not have a Manta style, so he is relatively weak to this Puck. You can grab him with Lich. You can punch him with Tusk.
Here's the butterfly picked up now. They've got their eyes over here on 3-4-3. He's just constantly in the line of fire. And they have a gem over here. Laguna coming through, though. Can they get the final kill? Yeah, they'll be able to use the puck, get that kill over here. And now it looks like Z-Freak hiding out in the trees has himself a haster, and the rest of the team kind of on the hunt here. Won't be able to find it, though, because they've got those blinks up and running over on the puck, over on the Brewmaster. They're just very, very mobile, and Z-Freak just going to be able to TP himself away.
I can't help but feel, and this is like no flame to 343 because I think the guy's an amazing player, but I think that there actually hits a point where it's like, okay, Lich seriously needs to stop dying because
he needs to be with the team.
Yeah, it's not like the hero before where okay, you can go die after the laning phase because you're useless after the laning phase as long as you like people were chain frosting goddamn creep waves back then because the hero was useless, but this hero actually does a lot now. If you can grip somebody in a fight, if you can frost shield somebody in a fight, and the chain frost does a lot of damage, like he's very, very important to kill. I think the new Lich is kind of like a Winter Wyvern. You sit, you defend towers, you're really important to be alive, but you're very squishy, so your positioning matters a lot. It's not like old Lich or like how some people play Bane, you know, where you just run around and kind of die.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely don't want to just keep dying in this game. At a certain point, it's going to come back to bite you, where you're going to say, "Oh, I wish I was alive for that fight."
Yeah, he's very, very value, like you said. You know, having that Sinister Gaze alone is super, super good in just being able to pull people out positioning. You know, get the Chain Frost off a little bit nicer. Although it looks like they found themselves a Tusk over here, so he's going to get taken down. They'll try to chase after a little bit more. Miracle going forward. He's looking for that Earth Spirit. He's not. Oh, Daydream Coil Lip. There's nothing there.
This is super nice for J.Storm if they can get out.
Super good.
They baited everybody up here on the side of compLexity. They get a kill. They get 3 bounties. They should get 3 bounties. Yeah, they're going to get 3 bounties.
And double damage, yeah.
And Morphling is forced to the bot lane to deal with this Terrorblade, which means if they want to make a smoke play to the top lane, they are absolutely free to do so. Morphling cannot be there. He has to do garbage control in this bot lane, and it looks like they're actually just going to go smoke into Roche, I think, with the DD. Are they going to look for a kill, or are they going to go Roche? I think Roche is the play. You don't want to run into the high ground, man. You're just going to get the smoke broke.
Well, they just picked up the BKB on the lane, too, so that's really, really big. Terrorblade also working on his own BKB, which is going to be very, very good for them in dealing with Chain Frost and all the other stuff coming up with Morphling.
This was all set up from just that single pick on the Tusk into really good call to get out. Like, that is just such a nice example of how a single call in Dota can make a huge difference.
Oh no, 3-4-3 again. He gets taken down. Did he use Chain Frost? He used Chain Frost during that too. They don't have that now for the next fight. Oh no. J.Storm's feeling real good right now.
Yeah.
They've got a loaded Terrorblade. You've got this, you know, Dazzle who's got an Aegis. Got an Aegis. You've got Cheese over on the Lena.
Butterfly
like,
up
life
too.
Life is just looking so good for them right now. They can just go and siege. No problem.
Well, they're not going to siege with a double wave, surprisingly.
Okay.
I guess with Morphling having the Dragon Lance, they know that he can just shred through all the vision.
Limp goes forward, finds himself Milan. The Waning Rift off, and they have that sentry. He takes a couple hits actually onto the sentry instead of anything else. But this is roll forward, Z-Freak, Walrus Punch, takes him down, and they're still on the hut over here. They looks like they've been able to drag in the Dazzle. Dazzle's got that shallow grave. We'll just try to buy himself some more time here. He's not going to be able to make it out, though. It's going to be a kill for death. And they're still going. They're not done just yet because they found themselves a Witch Doctor over here. Z-Freak coming forward. He's waiting very patiently. Should be able to go use those shards and the snowball. A couple of bounces coming through, but immediately Miracle just rolls on in as that Earth Spirit.
He's stuck. What is he stuck?
I don't know. That was very strange. Felt like he was stuck on a tree, but there was no tree. So
it's really cool that in Dota, like, basically that forcing the bottom lane in bot after that pick on the Tusk top forced the Morphling to go bot to deal with that, which resulted in that Roche and that almost rack siege. But then as a result, Morphling, because he pushed out the bot lane, J.Storm had to go deal with that, and then all of a sudden, compLexity has this opening to essentially take a bunch of pickoffs, and that's exactly what we just saw with the chain of deaths there. It's just all Dota's just all about like these creeps and pushing the creeps in and forcing people to deal with them so you can basically take good fights.
The unsung heroes, those creeps. However, Z-Freak has just picked himself up a Desolator.
Huh, that is such a Z-Freak thing to do. I mean, it's good. It definitely seems good. You have bonus physical damage from the tag team plus Walrus Punch, plus a Desolator is going to be able to tear through the Terrorblade's armor, help with the Morphling, kill him. I think Deso is just like a really underappreciated
It's not something you
item right
typically
now.
see on your position 4, though, right?
I think probably this item in maybe a couple of months it will be picked up
You're
on
gonna see it
a lot more heroes, yeah,
Okay.
than just like your TAs and PAs, because it's minus 7 armor plus 50 damage, which is a very high damage amount, and then the armor it was increased by 1, despite the armor calculations already favoring Deso without the change to the armor, because less physical or less armor reduction equals more physical damage increase.
Well, my question was, are these position 4s going to be able to find the money? But of course, I forgot that Tusk actually has the plus 90 GPM, so it is going to be more feasible that he's going to be able to pick up a Deso in this case. But I'm not sure how many other position 4s we're going to be able to see, because it's really dependent, right, of making sure that they can get that item in a decent amount of time while still, being effective.
Yeah,
and not farming.
Deso being 3,500 gold also helps a lot too. Before it was like what 4,100
Yeah.
and 4,000, but now it's
It's cheaper.
very, very cheap. It's a very high damage amount for being so cheap, actually, for the like 50 damage. Let's see, what's Daedalus use? 80 damage. 5/8 of Daedalus damage for 3,500 gold plus the minus armor. It's crazy.
Indeed. The rolling forward looks like they want to try to grab Limp, but again, he's a puck. He's very slippery. Hard to grab. They do... Okay, so is that a smoke over here, or is that an invis rune? Yeah, invis rune, so Dazzle knows that he does not want to be anywhere near this. In fact, we do see some TPs coming out. It's actually Lena's already found her way over here, and they do have that ward, but Z-Freak already walked himself out. They actually go and they use the split. Is that nervous?
He's scared.
All right. I mean, that is a big rotation, honestly, so I can understand that. The roll coming forward here, they've got their eyes over onto one of these pandas.
Oh my god,
is he going to try to fight this?
They're actually going to get him, I think.
Oh, they managed to get the kill over onto Z-Freak here.
Oh, he didn't quite get the...
He blinked. He's out. He's out.
Forev didn't quite get the heal bomb off. The timing, and then Earth Spirit was lifted. Nice play by Death lifting up the Earth Spirit. But the thing is, like, you're still losing your Z-Freak and then your Panda split for nothing.
Yeah.
For absolutely nothing.
That's pretty good for J.Storm right now.
Just because you overextended and kind of put yourself out of position.
I'm a little concerned because it's starting to go a little bit later. We're at the 35-minute mark. And we're seeing just how loaded this this Terrorblade has got at this point, right? Because he's got himself a Scotty, he's got a BKB, he's got the Butterfly. He's looking really, really good.
This is
right
like
now.
the crazy thing. It just... Everybody thinks Morphling is like a counter to TB, but every single time I see this matchup, it's the same thing, where Terrorblade just has one extra item.
Yo, he just got a...
Oh, he's a sheep.
He went in for the sheep.
I dig it.
I like this. I like this item. I think this is, you've got enough farm to do it. It's more lockdown that your team could use.
Yeah, it gives you decent stats. Gives you...
I was just surprised.
$10 your stats.
BKB gets picked up, though, over here on Miracle as well, so got to make sure that he pops that BKB before you pop that sheep stick.
BKB on Puck as well.
BKB got big buffs, man.
It did. It's very, very good.
It is the item. Still kind of boring, but
it's pretty boring.
It is the item.
It's a boring, very, very good item. It's just always been the item, That's the only downside.
Defensive items aren't as much fun.
That's true. They aren't.
Everybody wants to get a Dagon.
I want to see more Desos and Dagons.
More Desos. Oh, that sounds like like D&D, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Desos and Dagon.
D&D.
The Dota version.
Some like Harry Potter book, Desos and Dagons.
It does sound like that.
Some sort of fantasy novel.
I'm sure if someone writes it, then Bulba will totally be on board for it, right?
Bulba?
Since he's isn't he super into Harry Potter?
Is he?
Yeah, I thought so.
He kind of looks like Harry Potter.
He does not look like Harry Potter. What? They use the magnetize down here in the bottom lane with the silence. Death is in for trouble. He's going to have to go and use it. He's not going to be able to do it. They've got the Yulzid Light Strike array going to oh no. That is one dead Panda Bear. Bryle gets himself another kill.
It's one downside to this new Panda is that if you have any way to just like silence him before he gets the Drunken Brawler off, or I'm not sure if it's dispellable. I think it is dispellable. But in any case, he's not just this like tanky, unkillable guy if you catch him before his split. He's very, very easy to kill. He does not have any sort of like passive dodge anymore. So if the Drunken Brawler is not a factor, you just blow him up. Like we didn't even see Bryle have to use the Laguna Blade for that. He just knew he could right click him to death because new Panda is much weaker if he's caught outside the split.
That seems to be the name of the game right now for the side of complexities. They're just getting picked off one by one, whether it's 343 or it's Panda.
Yeah, and they're just kind of chilling.
Kind of unraveling a little.
Chilling
bit.
in their base too with a lot of these heroes. I feel like if they were with if they were with the Panda,
it wouldn't go so poorly.
It wouldn't go so poorly, or if the Panda was with them, but then they're just corralled in their base. And I don't know if they need to be in their base right now. I think they're feeling a little bit more pressure than what is actually on them right now. I do think they can. Mu, that just is a testament to how good of a job Mu is doing at keeping these lanes pushed in. He's being extremely obnoxious. He's constantly sending Terrorblade illusions to like cut creeps, just straight down lanes. This game has really been like a game of carries pressuring lanes and teams like capitalizing on that.
All right, so we're about 39 minutes in, starting to see a shift. It was over to the side of complexity a little bit here, but we're starting to see it start to go a little bit in favor of J.Storm, and that is, again, seeing Mu being able to cut out all these waves and just consistently farm, so.
Once again, he's like almost 2 items ahead of Morphling.
And that's a problem. That's a huge problem because they'll need to just use so much to try to take him down, especially with the BKB. He's very, very tanky. He's got the Sunder. He's got a Sheep Stick. Like, they're going to have to use so many resources to just take down this Terrorblade. I don't know if they have them. Yeah.
It's a rough one. They need to pick up like a Sheep Stick on Puck or an Aghanim Scepter. They need some way to disable the Terrorblade or
the rolls just coming left and right here. March also might be in for some trouble. They'll actually use the Dream Coil over just on March alone. And there's going to be the BKB getting popped over here on Bryle, over onto Miracle as well. Laguna gets used, and now 343 trying to run himself out there. It's going to be the roll forward. They'll manage to take down the Lich now. They'll turn back around. They get the kill over onto Z-Freak. Bryle now trying to get himself away from these Panda Bears. They use the BKB over here onto Limp. Should be able to get him down. Oh, but he's got the cheese, and they've got the Shallow Grave coming up from Frip. Still putting a decent amount of damage down. The waveform comes through, though, and it looks like they're going to be able to take down Bryle, and there's still just so much chaos going back and forth. Centipede can get landed over here. Miracle trying to roll himself out. Will be able to do a little bit here, and he's going to have to go pop the mantle, but Milan, he's still hot on the trail. He's trying to roll himself forward. He's like, oh, that was really cute. You were in her spirit earlier, but I'm going to come after you now, and it looks like we're also going to lose the Brewmaster. Mu is online, and he is just doing so much work.
He was getting really cut.
Oh, being a little bit cheeky here.
You gotta be careful. If he gets that sheep off, that is
he's
dead
toast.
puck.
Yeah, absolutely.
They do end up losing the gem, unfortunately. March died with the gem, and it was picked up by the puck.
Because that's double gems that they have. The buyback's actually coming out. They want to see if they can get this kill. Maybe over onto Frep. They've got the Dream Coil up. There's going to be the Sheep Stick getting used over here on the side. Terrorblade just shredding through. Going to be able to take down the Lich here. But they do manage to get themselves a Dazzle, and there's going to be roll forward again. Ooh, they'll be able to take down Milan.
Good buyback. Really good buyback. That fight we saw Mu getting kited a lot. Surprisingly, Z-Freak was not dying to the Terrorblade meta, so he just basically ran as far away from the fight as he could. And knowing that Mu, that was his only target, because Mu can't chase like a Panda split, he can't chase a puck onto the low ground, he had to go for the, 2 buybacks.
Oh, they want to challenge this Roche. They don't want to give this up. This is pretty scary right now. They don't have Brew split up. Lich is still dead, so they won't have the Chain Frost for throwing into the middle of everything. That will chase them out of the pit.
Yep. Those are not really expensive buybacks either. It's just your Dazzle and it's just your Earth Spirit. That is your core Dazzle, but he's the least farmed of the 3 cores on the Radiant, so he's kind of a
little more utility, yeah.
Yeah, he's a bit of a support hero at this point.
I don't think he took off the way that they wanted to, but he's making the best of it, right? He's got himself a pipe, he's got the 4-step, boots travel, Necros.
Yeah,
oh boy, oh, Miracle, the Lincolns gets popped. They've got the Hex out too. There's the Laguna. They're going to be able to just wipe him off the face of the planet here at Death. They're going to buy back over onto Miracle. They want to keep going forward. There's the snap that we talked about. Bryle now in for a little bit of trouble. They have that. Oh, they've got the BKB and they've got the Shallow Grave. Z-Freak still chasing after this Dazzle. Knows that he doesn't have that Shallow Grave left any longer. Dragon Slave coming through. We'll be able to go throw in the stone. They're going to be able to go silence him up. He's still getting 4-step forwards, but there's going to be the last hit coming out from 343. He is down, and there's going to be Walrus Punch coming back out. Mu, he's going to try to fight through. We'll be able to find the kill over onto Z-Freak. They're going to be able to take down 343 as well. Look, these BKBs coming out. Limp, he's trying to find this opening. He doesn't have the damage, though. They're going to be able to take down Panda. Panda's going to get wiped off the face of the map. That is a triple kill. And now it looks like Miracle, he's playing as the Earth Spirit. He's got to get himself out of there, though, as is the Puck. Will be able to just roll himself over to the other side. So we actually have a Dazzle down for 84 seconds. We've got a Brewmaster No Split down for 105. Tusk has buyback. Lich actually bought back during that as well.
So it's relatively even, other than the fact that Roche is now up and J.Storm's right.
They want to go back into that pit. Yeah, immediately Tusk, he's TP'd, he's buying back. Can they get there fast enough, though? This question. Yeah, there's going to be the illusory orb coming through. It's looking maybe to get a snatch here, Bryle. He's on the hunt. Got the Glimmer Cape over here as well. Limp going to get thrown up into the air. They cannot afford to lose this, so they can't lose this puck. He's going to be taken down. He's down for 100 seconds. Does have buyback, but that's opening up the pit again, and he's about half health right now. March also joining in with the fray.
Oh, they see Z-Freak.
They're going for it. Oh, the blink, though. The blink. He's out.
Does he have a TP?
He's got the Shadow Blade up in about 4 or 5 seconds, though. I think it's going to be okay. Look at all these buybacks. Puck coming right back in. He wants to try to get this Aegis. We'll just keep throwing the illusory orb out. Can they get in there? I don't think they're going to be able to do it in time. If he was trying to go in there, we'll be able to go and snap that tether. And it's actually going to be Brawl who goes and grabs the Aegis here. Limp going to have to run himself back. We'll be able to go and just jaunt over to that illusory orb, but that is not how they wanted that to go, I don't think. So it does make it so that Terrorblade doesn't get the Aegis, but he does manage to get himself that refresher shard, so it's pretty good anyways, right?
I think just the fact that the Terrorblade has buyback plus Boots of Travel 2 means that he basically already has an Aegis. And then also with the refresher shard, he can just use the Sunder and BKB as well. So that's also kind of an Aegis. And he has the BKB. I think he's not... Terrorblade's very unlikely to die in these fights, whereas Lina, if she can... she has like 1900 HP. It's definitely a really good Aegis hero in this game.
You can just allow her to siege too, right? If they're on the low, like going to the high ground.
Yeah. Oh, they have a DD on Terrorblade. Goodness.
He's so sparkly, my goodness.
Fuck.
Oh, the plays though. Oh, look at him chase. They know that he's going to turn back around. There's going to be the Hex. He's so dead. He is so dead. That's a godlike move right now.
Man, that's...
And there's no buyback on this puck because they use all their buybacks for that pit.
It's going to be really hard for them.
So difficult. Absolutely.
They have 10 seconds on Metamorphosis. Double damage.
How do they get in there? How do they blow him up fast enough? I don't think they can. Yeah, look at this move. He's just not afraid. He's just going to go right for it. He knows that they don't have the puck up and running. He's really, really strong right now. He's got the Metamorphosis. He got the double damage. Look at this Miracle. He's having so much trouble. He's actually set up as the Terrorblade that we talked about, but it doesn't do anything. It's not really actually doing anything to help him out. Duck going to have to get chipped down here by all of this damage coming out from Scotty. Looks like they've changed their mind, though. They want to go for the actual racks over here. They're not going to go for the complete finish just yet, but they're still feeling really strong. If they can get a couple more pickoffs, I think they can go just right for the thrown attack. Look at this. Tusk Z-Freak is just obliterated. He's no longer here, and this damage just getting thrown over here. Miracle now trying to run away. They get a nice chain cross off, but everyone's fairly tanky here. They don't look like they're too concerned about all these bounces. Heal's going to come out too from the Dazzle. They're going to keep him alive, and they throw out the Frost Armor over onto the tower. Doesn't matter. They actually throw out... Oh no, 3-4-3. He's out of here. He already got the chain frost off, luckily, but it doesn't matter. GG's going to get called. J.Storm takes game number 1.
Oh, that was some good Dota. That was good Dota. I really like the... I really like the plays that were made off the back of like creep pushes. I really like the fact that both teams knew that they had to fight that Roshan, and obviously J.Storm came out making the better decisions. But it's still really cool to see high level decisions like that in a game, just because it's really like those little like micro decisions. Like, okay, there's no brew, so even though it's 4v4, we can still take this Roche and then basically go end the game. It's those decisions that separate the best from just like good players.
Just the amount of buybacks that came through too, and they just weren't able to actually achieve much of anything off of it coming out from the side of compLexity, right? We saw them one by one kind of try to buy back, and they just couldn't find that opening. Limp tried to get into that pit, wasn't able to find it. It's... You know, again, it comes down to the Terrorblade factor. Like, this hero is just incredible because you just give him some space, he just shows up to the fights, and it's interesting the choices that he made with some of his items, too. He picked up the Sheep Stick, not something that we typically think about on a Terrorblade, but it just did so much work. And you watched him, too, like that interaction down in the bottom lane when they found the puck, right? And you watched him blink into the trees, and then he just immediately followed the Illusory Orb. He's like, yo, you're not getting away.
Yeah.
No way.
You basically send one group to the puck where he's standing, and then another group to where the puck is.
Little plays like that. I love stuff like that. I love that.
I'm kind of like confused, I guess, about the Terrorblade hero, just because my response to a game like this would just naturally be, hey, you know, you need to make sure that if you're going to allow a hero of this caliber to go through, that you have adequate counters to it. They do. They have Puck that clears illusions. They have Brew, and when you use the Wind Panda, that clears illusions. Like that's one of the best illusion clear heroes in the game, especially with the Radiance. And then Morphling morphs into Terrorblade. That's a traditional counter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. It wasn't anywhere near enough. So maybe you need something that like ultra hard counters him, like Zeus or Tinker. or you just ban it. You just don't.
I felt like the game was in complexity's hands like early on, and it just kind of slipped away.
It was.
They just weren't able to get the objectives that they needed or the pickoffs or what have you.
I do feel like the Lich picks actually hurt a lot because
I don't think it hurt. I think the positioning was a big problem. That 343 got caught out so many times while warding. Sure. Again, not flaming him or anything like that, but just like he's such a good hero for these team fights, and they really needed him there, and a lot of the times he wasn't.
We saw in the late game, J.Storm obviously had total control, despite the net worth lead at a certain point not being that much that high. It's just Terrorblade was doing so much. So it's like you give these little 30-second windows where you're dead, even though you're a 5-roll, that's still 30 seconds where your team's not going to fight.
Yeah.
It's not the old Lich where you're useless. Like, you're actually important to the fight. So it gets to a certain point on the 5-roll where it's like at a certain point you need to start valuing your own life. Just because you're too important for the team fights. Go with your team to do those wards. Or something like that.
Go with Glory. Get a smoke, have a pick off or something.
Yeah.
Because he's so good at picking off now with that.
Yeah, something like that. It's also something like you can do it in a game, and then the next game it's like, okay, this is how I'm going to change my play. Because it's a fine line. Sometimes on a 5, it's fine to just go off and die because you're wasting their time. But
in this case, he's so valuable, especially with the Frost Armor too, right? Being able to keep people alive. But this is, of course, a best of 3 series, guys. So we will be back with game number 2. So stick around.